Hi everyone, my name is Kelsie Massini and I'm one of the VOCA staff attorneys here at PCADV, or the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Domestic Violence. I'm here today to talk to you all about PA Safe Law as part of our ongoing Ask an Advocate series. We like these sessions to be interactive, so please like and share the videos and feel free to comment with any questions that you may have. We'll do a little question and answer session at the end. In that regard, please note that I won't be answering any case-specific questions here today on the live. I'm more than happy to answer basic questions about PA Safe Law. But if you have specific legal questions, please feel free to contact PA Safe Law directly and talk through that with one of our attorneys. So what is PA Safe Law? PA Safe Law is a unique civil legal information project of PCADV, and it's been made possible with grant funding from the Victims of Crime Act, or better known as VOCA. The purpose of PA Safe Law is for victims of domestic violence and other crimes in Pennsylvania to be able to access a network of experienced licensed attorneys. So kind of the breakdown of that, the main thing to talk about is who do we serve? Specifically, this helpline is set up to serve victims of crime. Here at PCADV, we understand that there's a lack of free legal resources available and a lack of legal aid resources available. But this specific project is for victims of crime. So we're only going to serve victims of crime. And that doesn't mean that there has to have been criminal charges filed or that you have to have called the police. It just means that some type of criminal conduct has occurred. So if you're currently in an abusive relationship, maybe you haven't reached out to the police or no criminal charges have been filed, you don't even have to have filed a PFA, but you could still call us and talk through legal questions that you might have or see what resources are available for you. And what is it that we do? We offer free and credible legal information, resources, and referrals to help navigate a variety of civil legal matters, including domestic and sexual violence, divorce, custody, immigration, and other topics as well. So when I talk about resources and referrals, what that means is we do not specifically do any direct representation here at PCADV. So if you call and talk to one of our attorneys, we aren't going to be able to take your case, and we're not going to be able to accompany you to court or help you fill out any documents or things like that. Our main purpose is to answer questions that you might have, let you know what options are available for you. We do have certain resources on our website, which we will show a little bit later in this, exactly what those are. And then the most important part is we're going to try and connect you with programs that are in your area that might be able to directly help you. So that could be victim advocacy programs, our local domestic violence and sexual assault centers, or your local legal aid attorneys as well, who might be able to take your case. If you're someone who is able to afford a private attorney, we could also give you the number for your local bar association and the local lawyer referral service to help you get in contact with a private attorney that way. It's important to know that PA Safe Law is not an emergency line. So if you're in an emergency situation, we're not going to be the people to call right in that moment. First and foremost, if you're unsafe and there's a crime currently ongoing, the police are going to be your best emergency option. You could also contact one of your local programs. So our domestic violence programs usually have 24-hour hotlines that you can call. And if you don't know what your local program is, you can go to pcadv.org and search for your local program by city or zip code. The other option is you can always call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Their number is 1-800-799-7233. And again, those resources are going to be the ones that are available 24/7 to help you in emergency situations. PA Safe Law is the non-emergency line to just really talk through legal questions that you might have. The other thing to note is that we are a civil legal helpline, and so when it comes to legal issues, you have kind of criminal cases and civil cases. So if you are a victim of a crime, you may be going through criminal court with your perpetrator. So we aren't really going to be able to help answer questions about what's going on in criminal court. We could connect you with your local victim advocate, but we're really here to talk about civil issues. So those are going to be things like custody, things like divorce, again, immigration comes into play, support, housing. We can discuss all those issues with you, and we can try and answer kind of basic questions about the criminal process more so as a victim, but we're not going to be able to answer any criminal law questions. And then kind of the big one is, how can you contact us? So we are available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you can contact us in 3 different ways. So you can contact us by phone, and our number is 833-727-2335. You can also email us, and our email is pasafelaw@pcadv.org. So the email is kind of good if you want to get in contact with us after hours when we're not going to be able to answer the phone. We'll always get back to you by email the next morning. And then we also have a chat function available, and you can find that at our website, which is pasafelaw.org. And again, we're available to answer those chats Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. If you ever call us or send an email or chat, we don't answer right away. If you leave a message, we'll definitely return that phone call or send you an email as soon as we can. But again, our hours are going to be Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It is also good to know that we do have interpreter services available. If you call us, we'll be able to conference call in an interpreter to talk to you and talk through all of your issues with you. So don't worry about calling us and worrying that we're not going to be able to speak your language, because we do have interpreter services available. So with PA Safe Law, we have 3 different partners, and our partners are really important. So we have PCAR, which is the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape. They were founded in 1975, and they work to end sexual violence and advocate for the rights and needs of sexual assault victims. So they might be someone we refer you to if you call with questions about sexual violence or sexual assault. PERC is the Pennsylvania Immigration Resource Center, and they work to provide access to justice for vulnerable victims in detention and in the community through legal services, education, and advocacy. So they're a really great resource. If you call us and have questions about immigration, we'll probably refer you to PERC. And then we also have PLAN. So PLAN is the Pennsylvania Legal Aid Network, and they are a statewide consortium of independent legal aid programs. They coordinate the delivery of civil legal assistance to Pennsylvanians who need it most. So they're going to be the attorneys who provide free legal services if you qualify for their services and meet their income guidelines. So if maybe you're calling from, say, Delaware County, and you're in the need of legal aid assistance, we might refer you to PLAN. So the most common issues we see are on calls. I think the 3 biggest ones are definitely protective orders, custody, and divorce questions. And we talk about those pretty much all day, every day, and we're here to talk about those. We have some really great resources on our website as well. But that might be, say you're considering leaving an abusive relationship and you just want to know what custody rights you might have, what it might look like if you decide to leave the house, and you just want to kind of talk through those options with an attorney before you create a plan to leave. We can definitely talk through that with you. We also get questions about relocation. So this might come into play if you're thinking about fleeing the county you're currently in, and you have a child with your abusive partner. A lot of people don't know, but in Pennsylvania, we have a relocation statute, which just means that you cannot move in a way that's going to substantially impact the custody of the other parent. And this comes into play even if you guys don't have a custody order, you've never gone to court before regarding your child, you still have to think about this. So sometimes, you know, people's first thought is, I'm gonna pack up and go to New Jersey because I have family there, I have a support system there. You might want to talk it through with an attorney first because this relocation could come into play, and you might have to think about what the consequences of that might be and what the risks might be for that. So that's something we can talk to you about. We also talk to people about child support and spousal support. These are issues that sometimes, you know, attorneys might not represent you for. It's not as easy to get an attorney to represent you in these issues. And it's just knowing when you can go to domestic relations to file for those things. We also talk about something called defiant trespass letters, and those are when maybe you want to file for a protective order, but you don't qualify, have a qualifying relationship for a protection order. So for a protection order in Pennsylvania, if you're filing for protection from abuse order, you have to have a qualifying relationship of either being a household member or a spouse, an intimate partner, could have been a dating relationship, you could have a child together. But sometimes people have arguments with acquaintances or neighbors that might not qualify for a PFA, but something like a defiant trespass letter may be helpful. And then I've talked to you a little bit about the resources that we have, but I want to show you what it looks like on our website, if I can. So on our website, we have forms available to kind of, if you're thinking about representing yourself in something like custody or divorce and you want to know what forms you can file, if you go to our website under the resources tab and then go to custody, if you scroll down, you'll see that we do have a list of different PDFs available. And kind of the most important one is going to be this instructional custody packet. And that's going to talk you through how to start a custody case and what the forms might look like that you need to file with the court. Another important form that we have on our website is it's called Informer Pauperis, and that means that it's a form you're going to file with the court if you can't afford, it's the one down at the bottom, you have petition to proceed. And this is a form that you file in either custody or divorce if you're trying to tell the court that I can't afford filing fees, and I'm going to need those fees waived to be able to file these petitions. That's the form you're going to file. And then we also have an instructional divorce packet on our website as well, if you go under the divorce tab. So this is for kind of the terminology is no fault, no asset divorce. And what that means is in Pennsylvania, you can file for a fault divorce. This is not something that is done usually nowadays. It was more commonly done in the past. And so that's when you would have to kind of argue for a divorce that something like adultery or abuse occurred. Now, more commonly in Pennsylvania, we file no fault divorces. So that just means you're saying, you know, this divorce is really not the fault of either party. We just, you know, no longer want to be married. And the wait times for no fault divorces are less time than a fault divorce. So it's the more common way to file for the divorce now. And when we say no asset, that just means that the two of you don't have any marital property. So that could be owning a home together, owning a car, one of the parties having a retirement fund that the other party might have a right to in the case of a divorce. So this packet is really just going to be for that basic, we don't have any marital property, we just want to get divorced. What's the quickest and easiest way to do that? And that's going to be this no-fault divorce. If you have things like assets, you might want to, that's a case where you're going to want to probably talk to an attorney. Again, if you call us, we hopefully can get you connected with either a legal aid attorney or your local bar association's lawyer referral service. As we're talking about divorces, one of the big projects with PA Safe Law is that we do have divorce clinics. With our divorce clinics, our attorneys offer these free clinics for survivors of domestic violence and other crimes. If you attend one of our clinics, our attorneys will help you fill out the appropriate paperwork to file a no-fault divorce in Pennsylvania. In addition, our attorneys will help provide you with information and resources about the process for filing and completing a no-fault divorce. So far we've done these clinics in Armstrong, Clarion, Cambria, Indiana, and Westmoreland County. And we are planning for future clinics. So you can keep an eye either on our website at pasafelaw.org or on PCADV's social media, and they'll post events for future clinics to let you know where they're occurring. And again, you can attend these clinics if you are either a victim of domestic violence or of another crime, and our attorneys will help you walk you through filling out that divorce packet that's available on our website. We'll talk you through how to go to the courthouse, how to file those documents, and then kind of what the next steps are in that process. And then after the clinic, if you have any questions, you can always call us on the helpline and we can talk you through what the next steps are. Okay. I think those are the main topics that we usually talk about with PA Safe Law. So again, kind of the highlights are really going to be that when you contact PA Safe Law, you're going to be talking directly to an attorney. It's only attorneys who answer the phone or the chat or the email. And we're really just here to talk through questions that you might have, talk you through what the civil legal process looks like. So maybe you're in the process of filing for a protection order and you're not able to have an attorney represent you. You just want to know what that hearing is going to look like. What should I expect? Is my abuser going to be in the same room as me? Do they get to ask me questions? How do I need to have my evidence be able to present it in court? Those are all things we can help you understand, talk you through, and answer those questions. So sometimes it's just helpful just to know what those options are, to know what the process is going to look like, to know what the form is that you have to file. I mean, as attorneys, we know that the law likes to use fancy Latin terms and terminology that's difficult to understand. It's really hard to just fill out these forms and figure it all out on your own. So know that we're here to help if you need us. Okay, so I think now we're going to answer questions if you have any. Again, like I talked about before, this just isn't the best venue to talk about specific legal questions that you might have. So if you do have specific legal questions about what's going on in your case or in your life, please feel free to contact PA Safe Law directly and talk to one of our attorneys, because that's going to be the best place to do that. Okay. So one of our questions is, I was married in a different state, but now I live in Pennsylvania. Am I able to come to one of the divorce clinics? Yes. So as long as you've lived in Pennsylvania for the past 6 months, Even if you were married in a different state, you can file for divorce in Pennsylvania. And you can file for whatever county you currently live in. So in the past, we've had people travel from other counties to the county that we're holding a clinic in. Maybe they're in a surrounding county and it's not too far for them to drive. You can definitely still come. Well, just let us know that you're from a different county, not from the county where we're doing the clinic, in case there's different rules for that county. But yes, even if you were married out of state, you can still file for divorce in Pennsylvania and come to one of our divorce clinics and we can help you through that. Okay, another question we get a lot is, does Pennsylvania have restraining orders? And restraining order is kind of the term a lot of people know, whether it's from TV or just from other states. In Pennsylvania, we don't have something specifically called a restraining order. We have protection orders. And we actually have 3 different types of protection orders in Pennsylvania. We have protection from abuse orders, sexual violence protective orders, and protection from intimidation orders. So protection from abuse orders have been around the longest, and those are going to be, you have to have a qualifying relationship. So you have to, again, be either a spouse, an intimate partner, have a dating relationship, be a household member, or a relative, and have those qualifying relationships. And protective orders can be in place for up to 3 years, and they can grant relief such as no contact, no abuse, stalking, harassment, or threatening the victim. It can include eviction in some cases, custody, support. So it can grant a lot of relief and can be really helpful for certain clients. Sexual violence protective orders are still relatively new in Pennsylvania. Those are going to be where a sexually violent crime occurred. Again, you don't have to have contacted the police and you don't have to have gone through the criminal process, but a sexually violent act occurred. And this is going to be when the perpetrator, you don't have that same type of relationship with the perpetrator that you might in a protection order. So it's not going to be someone you dated, most likely not someone you lived with. Usually this is the case of maybe an acquaintance, rape, or sexual assault on campus. And it grants a lot of the same relief that a protection from abuse order does, but it just has that different qualifying relationship. If you are in an intimate partner relationship and are experiencing sexual violence, that is covered under the Protection from Abuse Act. You wouldn't have to file a sexual violence protection order. And then the third type of order is protection from intimidation, and that's going to be for minor children. So it's for children under the age of 18, where the perpetrator is over the age of 18 and certain specific crimes have occurred or criminal acts have occurred. Again, crimes, no criminal charges have had to been filed and you don't have to have had contacted the police. But again, if you have any questions about what type of protection orders are available in Pennsylvania, what might be the best one that you qualify for, how you even start the process of filing for one, definitely contact us, and hopefully in that case we can get you in contact with an advocate or a local program who can help you through the process of filing. One thing I just forgot to talk about is that sometimes we have people call the helpline or contact us who are already being represented by an attorney, and they might just, feel like they need a second opinion, or their attorney isn't getting back to them and they want to ask us questions. It's important to note that just ethically, we're really not able to answer questions if you are already being represented by an attorney regarding an issue. And again, that's just our ethics as Pennsylvania lawyers, that you really need to talk to the person that's already representing you. If you decide that you no longer want that person to represent you and are no longer represented, then we might be able to talk to you. But just know if you do call and you already have an attorney, we're going to be pretty limited in how we're able to help you and what questions we're able to answer. Do you have any other questions? Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Again, kind of as an overview, PA Safe Law is this, I'm really excited about it as someone who works here. It's a really new, great project that PCADV has. Please, again, it's not just limited to victims of domestic violence. We're definitely here for victims of domestic violence, but it's victims of all crime. And we can help you with any, help give you civil legal information, talk you through the civil legal process, hopefully get you connected with resources in your area and answer those questions that you might have. We're a free resource that's available. Again, phone, email, chat, whatever you're most comfortable with. Not everyone wants to call us on the phone, and that's fine. We have chat available, or email's great if it's after hours and you want to, leave us a number to call you back. And we're here to answer any questions that you might have.